This private vendetta of yours could easily compromise Her Majesty's government. You have an assignment, and I expect you to carry it out objectively and professionally.
Then you have my resignation, sir.
We're not a country club, 007. Effective immediately. Your license to kill is revoked.
Once again, there's this commonality between the Dalton movies where Timmy Bond and M are at odds. There's just nothing but tension between them in The Living Daylights, and then with this, there's nothing but extreme tension between them, because he's saying, you know, the whole crux of the movie is you have to come in, or you're supposed to be in Istanbul, you're working for the Queen, bro, and you want to go gallivanting around the world to kill, to avenge your buddy, and that has nothing to do with us, and, you know, if anything, I like cocaine, and I don't want you to stop cocaine. Remember, McCurdy, when you said it was never confirmed if this was the same M that we had way back as far as Dr. No, or if this is a new person entirely.
Yeah, it's never specific if M stands for Miles or if M is a title.
My point being, though, that this specific M, when he took over, this new actor who had been in The Spy Who Loved Me as an admiral, it might be a new M, because The Living Daylights M doesn't act like his predecessor. And then now we have the same kind of asshole. Before, M was something of a father figure to Bond, and now he's just a strict manager. And it's not like we could ever know for sure, but my whole point is that just the performance is as different as when we had our sitting in the chair, speaking very softly Blofeld, to then suddenly have the kill Bond now Blofeld. This M is just so much more emotional and not the cool, calm, collected father figure that we had back with Bernard. You know, you're a soldier, you're a blunt instrument to pull a trigger and all that stuff, you know, so it's kind of interesting.
I'm inclined
but anyway,
to agree with that M, though. Like,
well,
he's not doing his job.
Yeah. But I'm talking about this in tandem with The Living Daylights, where in The Living Daylights, he's just kind of reckless and hasty and doesn't seem to trust Bond's assessments and instincts of what's going on.
I had to make a split-second decision. It was instinct.
I'll recall 008 from Hong Kong. He can do it. He doesn't know Pushkin. He follows orders, not instincts.
Which, if you think about it, really, really doesn't make sense, because Bond is a 00, which literally means the guy is trusted to make life and death decisions in the field, which, don't get me wrong, him taking his license to kill away in this movie makes total sense. But I'm mostly talking about how in The Living Daylights, there's just this conflict between them that just seems contrived. Whereas they could have easily just had M say, my hands are tied, you know, they want to kill Pushkin, we have to go do it, regardless of what you and I think.
This plot to kill agent sounds rather far-fetched, sir. I know General Pushkin.
And you think I don't?
It's strange that the character changes from even, what was it, Moonraker, we had talked about how, like, they are, he always
Bond.
Agrees with them, he always trusts them and everything. In this movie, he doesn't, so.
Yeah, and because, okay, here's the thing. He does stop the guy from shooting Bond, right? He grabs the gun, but he says,
"Don't shoot too many people."
He doesn't stop him because he doesn't want Bond to be killed. He just says too many people. M of the past, Bernard Lee. He probably would have helped Bond.
Absolutely out of the question. If the PM gets to hear of this, he'll hang me from the yardarm.
Officially, you won't know a thing about it, sir.
He probably would have officially said, you need to come in and you need to stop being a jackass. And then he would have maybe helped. He would have facilitated his escape a little bit.
Nudge, like,
exactly.
Hey,
and with this, we just have.
We can't condone this.
It's just he's a different M. He just feels like a different M entirely. But anyway, so fast forwarding past that to Q.
Oh no, wait, go before that, because we have Miss Moneypenny who's like trying to help Bond. Is like, I'm worried about Bond.
He's got to be stopped. I've already alerted our man in Isthmus.
Q branch, please.
You know, the guy who sexually harasses me at work constantly.
Yeah.
So, but she's worried about him, and then M finds out and is like, what are you doing? And he figures out that she had tried to grab intel to figure out where Bond was at that time.
Yeah. So then she calls Q branch, and then that's when, you know, your uncle's in the suite and all that stuff.
Which is fun. I like seeing Q in the field.
Really, 007?
Q,
What the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, such a good line with the, if not for Q Branch, you'd have been dead long ago.
Q definitely
It's just
like
great.
lightens the mood of this movie a little bit, where
Yeah.
you're like, okay.
Bring the rolls round to the front of the hotel.
Yes, sir.
And he's constantly shaking his head. It's always just like, he's just always upset
'Cause he's
that
surrounded by chicks
These
the whole
women
time,
aren't
like-
all over him like Octopussy. Remember Octopussy? He got some Octopussy.
You know, when we talked about Goldfinger and how Guy Hamilton had made that decision where he's like, you know, Q does not like Bond. And the reason is because Bond always screws up all of his gadgets and, you know, he has to, you know, he breaks the car or whatever it happens and
Yep.
it, you know, comes back in pieces.
And then
And
what
this
does Q
movie-
do with his own gadget?
What?
He's always saying you need to return these in one piece and stop
Yeah.
breaking everything. And then what does Q do with his broom?
He just throws it, yeah.
He just throws it in the bushes.
Either Wilson or Glenn just kind of went off of Q and Bond are like buddies, and then now M and Bond are at odds. So it was kind of like a reversal in that respect.
Yeah, in the Living Daylights, you don't necessarily get the same level of Q hates him.
Morning, Q.
Oh, morning, Governor.
Mind your head.
They seem to like each other more. With this, it's kind of sweet.
I know exactly what you're up to, and quite frankly, you're going to need my help. Remember, if it hadn't been for Q Branch, you'd have been dead long ago.
He's glad to see him versus it's like a hind. It's like a problem.
Yeah, and so it's clearly just like all these movies. It's a continuation, and it's not jumping to the past or anything like that. But they've been through a lot together. So when he says that line, "If not for Q Branch, you'd have been dead long ago," it is, and the simple fact that he would show up. It's a testament to Tim Dalton, I'd say, where he is less antagonistic. He's more just kind of fun with Q. Up until then, it was always a lot of jokes at Q's expense and a lot of tomfoolery and all that. And in fact, the old school, you know, don't touch that, stop messing with these things, they give that to Bouvier.
Stop fiddling about with things you don't understand.
I mean, you're right. There is this kind of reversal where it is literally Uncle Q.
Yeah.
And then M is the asshole. M is the, you know, everything by the book. And he's more Saunders. So anyway, what I was saying is that all this stuff with Q has a theme. It's all...
Everything for a man on holiday. Explosive alarm clock, guaranteed never to wake up anybody who uses it. Dentonite toothpaste, to be used sparingly.
Everything is disguised. And it's interesting because Bond actually gets his Walther taken away. And then from there, he's reliant on Bouvier's guns. Again, I love her because she just always has guns and reach. She's just great. But he's got her
Tiny
thigh gun. And then the camera gun, which is kind of goofy, but it all makes sense because I don't know if it's that guns aren't allowed in Isthmus, but, you know, anytime.
Did she have multiple guns? Because she takes her gun.
He takes her gun and then she pulls out another one.
Yeah, she had it in the purse, yeah.